Stuff always happen at the last minute, but you know how technology is, so it's all good. We'll work with it. Just technology. And, oh, okay. All right, cool. Restart my screen. There we go. All right. So, like I said, thanks to everyone for joining, and I hope y'all had a great weekend. We're gonna hop right into things. Now, by watching and reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There are significant financial risks associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Let's hop into things. So look, on Friday, this is the top options, top call option, or just say top call options flow. We'll get to the puts. And on Friday, most of the flow went into Meta, followed by CVNA, NVIDIA, AMD, and ARM. On the put side, we had Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, and Coin. For the week, it was Amazon. I'm not sure what this is, REGN. We had MCSI, AMD, Google. On the put side, Broadcom. Wow, they shortened Broadcom, QCOM, and NVIDIA all at the same for the week. Okay, I have to look into that. Apple and ServiceNow. Okay, cool. Now, we gotta make some notes now because make some notes about that. Look, take a closer look and see what's going on. A lot of put options flow going in a lot of the semiconductor stocks, except for CMSI. I just want to make sure that I cover this. Cool. Just wanted to make a note. Now, for the sector performance from last week, we had from the week before, we had technology, comm services, consumer staples, and real estate green, while industrials, materials, and energy and consumer discretionary kind of held the put flow, right? More they were the biggest laggers on the sector wise for the previous week. Now for last week, we had real estate still was considered to be green, but we had energy up there this time. Financials was green and industrials were green versus last week. But consumer discretionary stays red. We got utilities down here. Comm services was definitely selling off especially towards the end of the week. And then we had consumer staples. Okay, so we got some members that we want to spotlight this week, man, that had just some really good performances, and I just wanted to kind of just shout them out. And that's J Rock and Juice, man. Y'all really had a great week, and I just want to shout y'all out. I'm proud of y'all for sticking to the process, and then just for a few reasons, man. It was just a lot that was going on, and I just like to point out when I see something that's worth mentioning, man. When you know what people been through and how treacherous this market can be, and just see people not giving up and going. I just want to give y'all a shout out. And then look, so yeah, we had a on Friday, well, last week, there was a meta trade that we all took together, and heading into the week after triple witching, meta typically runs, well, it has for the last few years. And we've traded it together all 4 of those times, and it didn't let us down again this time, but it was a little rocky. It wasn't easy. And this is the thing. This is one of the part of the reasons. And there was a few other people, but I'm just saying, we're going to stick to this for a reason, because in the eye of the storm is when you really know who's, like on Warren Buffett always say, only when the tide goes in do you know who's been swimming naked. So it's like in this situation, everybody can can talk the talk or say they ready or that they with you and they following what's going on. But when those waters get rough, we see who's really there. But like I said, I was like, this was, I'm typically off on Mondays, even if I alert a trade. But I ended up coming back and doing an emergency Zoom with the team on Monday just to kind of reassure them that this meta trade was it was we were going to stay in this trade. Everything was intact. We just wanted to continue. We just wanted to make sure I played my part in that, and it just continued to do what it does. But I was surprised, not surprised, but I was glad to see that 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 J Rock and Juice, y'all was still in the trade. Y'all held on, didn't cut the trade, followed along, and was really understanding what you were seeing. And then just to go a step further with that, then we had the Nike play, and both of y'all held on until and got almost max profit out of those contracts for real. Like that was a play that was like about $200 that generated over $1,100 in profit. So, shout out to everybody in the team who was in that trade too. That was a really big one that we had. So look, I didn't even really call out a lot of trades this week. It pretty much was just a few trades and we had a really, really good week. And so again, I just wanted to shout y'all out for that. And then one thing about, and then Juice, there was a trade that you took, man. You were in that Netflix play, and you mentioned it on Zoom the other day too. When we were on Zoom, you were like, I asked you where your target was on that. You had your target, and we looked at the levels again. This was not, I had nothing to do with that trade. You got into that trade on your own. You stuck with it. You stayed with the trade, and that was a really good profit. It hit your target, and it was a successful trade. So again, just shout out to y'all, shout out to you, man. And again, just keep up the good work, man. It just it always feels good when it's one thing to just be winning if you gambling and you don't know why or how you won, but when you actually go through some some things in a trade, like I said, you always know when things are rough, because anybody can make money when the market just going up. So again, I'm just proud of y'all, and let's just keep up the good work. And I told y'all, I believe in y'all. Y'all been with me for a while, and I got faith in y'all. I know what y'all are capable of doing, and this is just what I want to see more of. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with cutting a trade. There's nothing wrong with anything, but this is what I like to see, man. I like to see the improvement and just seeing, because like I said, you can get into a trade and win, but when you actually got a plan, it's easier to stay into that trade and follow it. So yeah.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And I just want to say we wouldn't be here without you, Brian. You and your guidance and how you speak with us on Zoom and here in the study groups. You know what I'm saying? So all shout out to you, bro.
No, I
And even
appreciate
in the chat, the way you help us just guide through each and every trade and let us know the levels, what we need to be looking for, the whole nine, and really, really help us.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's what I'm here for, man. Just to keep the questions going and keep up the great work. Cool, cool. So let's just move on. So look, every month of this year, we've been on our thing. Like I told y'all, I try to set small incremental goals, because when you taking on a big goal can be astronomical. I mean, it can be demoralizing and overwhelming at times. So, last year's profits, we hit 44K, and that's if you grab just one options per each trade that I alerted. And I said I wanted to blast through that this year. And I gave us a number of 50K or something like that for the year, just per single option. So, if you grab more than one option, if the goal is 50K, then you would make 100K if we meet the goal, right? So halfway through the year, so what I've been trying to do this year, I said I wanted to make it a little to make sure the goal was attainable, because like just hitting over 40K can be, when you're just looking at it that way, it can be a little overwhelming. And again, just only grabbing one option. So I said we're going to do month to month. We're going to try to see if we can take out the profits for the month of the previous year. So for every month of this year, I've been able to do that, like blast through it. So just to give you some stats, number one, there hasn't been a single month this year where we haven't cleared over $4,600 per single option. So that means net profits, if you include the losses and everything, we haven't cleared over 46K for any month this year for all 6 months. So that's number one. Number two, for 3 of those months, we cleared over 5 bands for 3 of those months, including this June. Now, look, the only difference is, so we didn't take out the profits for June for last year. The profits for June of last year was I think it was 8,000. It was 8,700 and something right there. So that's how much we made per single option for the month of last June. And again, there's no excuses or anything for that. We blasted through our profits for June this month, which I'm about to show y'all. It blasted through every single other month that we had this year so far. And last week I only called out 4 trades. So we could have, but I mean, like I said, just because I was chasing a record, I didn't want to just force trades, you know what I mean? And we had some really good trades last week. So, well, I'm sorry, not this past week. I'm talking about the week before. The week before, it was just 4 trades. And then even this week that just passed, I didn't call out many trades. I kept it, light because I just wanted to focus on, I wanted to make sure that the team knew that we were not cutting that meta trade. And the moment I called out a new trade, they would have just assumed that the trade was over. And although I was putting updates in there, so it was imperative that we stick to that. So we could have blasted even further than what we did on this month, but it's more about quality over quantity, and I'd rather the lesson be there. But here's the profits for the month of June. We cleared $5,819, so $5,819 for the month of June, and this is a lot less trades than we've taken. So and again, these are net profits. So when you subtract the losses, now there's only one earnings play in this situation, and that's because I called it out to the entire team. And again, the Nike trade, which is a trade that I've been foxing for several weeks. I've been planning. I told KK, I said I'm putting the whole team in this Nike trade. I'm not letting them know yet, but I feel like that'll be a great way to end the month of June with this Nike trade, because I just felt like it was going to play out to perfection, and it did. So, I'm not saying what I'm going to do in the future, but I like sprinkling some earnings plays in there to the team. When if I feel like there's a assured thing for the team, so I'll be sprinkling them in there every now and then, just because I like the energy from the team from it, and plus I just feel like I'm gonna tell you this, how I feel about earnings, man, because like most of our profits come from regular trades, but earnings is a totally different thing, like as far as a monster of its own, and it's something that can be risky, and I've lost a lot of money to learn how to play earnings the way I play earnings. So let's be clear, it's not like earnings is not easy. So that's why I don't really talk about it much. I don't really try to encourage it much. And it takes a lot. It's a lot that goes into figuring out when to play certain stocks and earnings and when not to play them. So, but I will be sprinkling earnings throughout the team as I see fit, because I feel like, what earnings is to me. Let's say you were in a play, or even you were in a series of plays. You made some money, you made a lot of money, or you didn't, right? And what's the word I'm looking for? Or you just you were in a hole or something like that, and the small earnings play come in. I know I had this one trade. I put a team member in. It was like $85 to get into the trade. They made like 4,800 from the trade, but those type of trades bring you back. It resets you if you need that reset sometimes, and you never know who need that reset. So every now and then, like I said, I will sprinkle some earnings plays into the whole team or whatever. So yeah, but again, proud of this performance, man. We had a great month. It didn't seem like it was but I remember when June first started, I remember hitting the ground running. But the last 2 weeks, I kind of just slowed it down and focused on the bigger trades. Like, let me just make this, see if I can make this trade, or it's all about, at the end of the day, we in this to learn too. So there's some people that's trying to learn too. So we gotta keep that going. But yeah, proud of y'all, and let's keep this going. We got a big month coming up. All right, so let's go into lessons learned and recap. Let's start here. So does anyone well, I guess I'll just kick it off or whatever, man. So like I said, last week, man, was a great week for me. And I'm gonna tell y'all some things. So I was on Zoom for like a lot this last week. Like 4 out of 5 days I was on Zoom, and I was just really locked into that. So it had me to start thinking, and I'm like, I was telling a few people on this earlier this week, but I'm gonna change up the way I do Zoom as opposed to just being tethered to certain days, because there are days where a session is necessary. You know what I mean? And some days it may be every day. You know what I'm saying? And some days it just may be just specific days, but just being tethered to certain days, I feel like some members will just show up on the days where they think is going to be Zoom, and then they miss those beautiful opportunities when we hop on there, or when there's a nice play that come out on one of those off days. And I just don't want to be tethered to the situation of it being a specific day. So I'm gonna change up how I do it to just where there'll just be several sessions. There'll be regular Zoom sessions, but as far as just being tethered to a day where I'm on there, I'm gonna change that up, because of the fact that there may be a Monday morning where, and they had like this Monday or few Mondays before, where I just there's a trade and I need to be locked into that. Or and I said this to say something else too, because we're gonna lead into something that happened this weekend. Um yeah, so like Friday, I got on Friday because we had the Nike trade, and KK was encouraging me. Like, she was like, look, well, not encouraging me, but she was like, let me know, like, look, man, she was just like, look, I think you should, like, as far as the afternoon go, don't get back on there for the afternoon. We gotta, because I had a plan. We had a meta plan. And we bring up this chart. We had a meta plan for the afternoon. We were talking about it in the morning. So that was part of the reason why I had that put, because there was a plan that I had for Meta, and I was telling I think it was J Rock and I was talking about it first. I'm like, if Meta lose this level here, then we know 509 is in play, and then 504. So we ended up getting in a call swing after we got all the way down here to a key level, right? And it looked scary when you're just looking at it from just seeing a drop, but we came right here down to a level, and it'll likely bounce right here. And but the thing is, I had a plan to, and I don't want to make the story too long. My plan was, I was waiting for Meta to break down. Let me go to the session hourly. We're waiting for it to break down and go
We
to.
can't see the charts either, bro.
Can't see you, bro. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Thanks for letting me know. Cool, cool, cool. Switch that. Yeah. So there we go. So yeah. So here's a session hourly chart right here. So I was waiting for a retest, because what we did see was every single, once Meta lost this level here, I was like, it went back up and retested. Now we had the 9 EMA and VWAP right there. So we were literally waiting for that last retest, because I was talking to J Rock. I'm like, we're gonna wait for that last retest and this thing, and we're gonna. I was looking for. So although we were talking about swing trades for next week, I was like, I'm looking for something to trade in this last 30 minutes, because it looked like this thing about to put her in play, and ended up getting distracted, just focusing on the other side of the trade, and this whole thing just died, just flushed down. We've literally walked the whole thing down and then missed that trade in the last few minutes. That contract went from like $200 to like $580, and missed that whole thing. But the whole point is, so sometimes when, and it was because I was distracted on Zoom. I was answering questions and stuff like that, and it was about the same trade, but it was a different side of the trade, and we literally talked about it. And so my lesson learned is to kind of stick to what I'm doing, like, it's because you can't please everybody. But one thing I do know, I know my intentions are good, and you know how they say, how HR say, like, it's all about the need of the business. So like, the need of the business was for me not to be on Zoom in the afternoon. It was for me not to be on there, because I needed to stay focused, so that way I could get that trade off. That would have been a nice trade that I could have got off for everybody in the last few minutes of the market. You know what I mean? In the last 30 minutes. And but it was a missed opportunity because I was distracted. It's nobody else's fault. It was my fault because I know how things can be, and at the end of the day, I want to be helpful and stuff like that. But we missed that particular trade, and it was okay. But it's okay. But it's a lesson. It's a lesson learned. But we definitely walked that price all the way down. It hit every single target. We discussed that moment. That morning, everything played out to perfection. It just wasn't in it. And the one thing I'll tell you for sure, I hate excuses. I don't make it. I'm trying to just, I'm telling you a reason, not making any excuses. I'm just saying that there's nothing worse than not being in a trade where you had the whole setup and you dictated the entire price and you were not in the trade, for whatever reason, for whatever reason. That's the worst way. That's the worst feeling in the world. I'd rather be in a trade that I took my setup on and it went bad and we had to cut it than to have missed a trade that I literally walked down. But so like I said, there will be situations where it's probably best not to be on Zoom or to be on Zoom. Now, again, you got every trader has their needs, we got different traders with different needs, and we have to really think about the overall thing, so for the most part, there are opportunities that come out of being on Zoom, and we will continue to have those, and we will continue to uh, to to work around that and just and incorporate that in everything. But I'm saying there are days where it's not going to be beneficial to anybody if we're on there. So yeah, so that's just a lesson learned for me based off of what happened with that trade. Anybody else have any thoughts or lessons learned from last week? Recap.
Personally, I definitely had a great week, but not a perfect week. So as I think the same principle applies to why it was not perfect, but also why it was great, was that take profit, and not just take profit, but trust the levels. Because I know with
Mm.
the first meta play we were in, I was trusting the levels after you walked us through everything in the chat and even on Zoom, the emergency Zoom call, and
Mhm.
trusting that I should stay in it in the trade when I usually would cut it just to hit my stop loss, but I didn't because of the structure was still holding due to the levels. And then I had came up with the like you said it best, a plan once we got in it, like where I wanted to take my profit at. And I actually got out at the 10:15 candle because I'd set my take profit for it was 5:23:03, I think it was. And
Mhm.
I took it as soon it hit the candle, and as soon as it hit the candle, it started coming back down. I mean the price. And as soon as it started coming back down, that's when I took my profit and got out at almost max profit. But at the same
Nice.
time, I also had a lesson learned because I didn't take profit when we got back in meta playing the strangle, and it went up 100% at market open almost, and I didn't take profit when I should have. So I on both sides of it.
Yeah, no, that was I'm glad you said that because again, and then on top of that, remember that was Lotto Friday, so that's even more reason to take profit. And I'm like, if I feel like I want to stay in a trade on Lotto Friday, then I know I need to be buying something for the next week because I don't want to play that volatility or that IV, and not even IV, the that theta game that they play towards the end of the day on a lot of, oh, I'm sorry, at any time on during Lotto Friday. And that meta put actually went up 140 something, 41%. You know what I'm saying? But it went up over 100% for sure. And that was the thing. I felt like I was telling you, I said, they're gonna try to play with us on Friday after that PCE data came up, like how even the market went up first. They tried to cushion the blow a little bit. And although it was good, there was a lot of people selling in that. That was like a sell the news event because the market was kind of waiting for it to happen. And I told y'all we had a quarter candle closing. We had the first half of the year was finishing, and we had a monthly candle. So we had a lot of things. Now remember, we play session hourlies, 5 minutes, daily charts, and even weekly charts. But smart money and the whales, they play quarterly candles. They play quarterly charts, monthly charts, and half year charts. And all of those finished on Friday. So we have to consider those things too. That's why I was kind of making a big deal about it on Friday that we had that quarterly candle closing because it was just important to that it was going to create a type of volatility that you probably don't see often in the market, and that's what we got. And it was just it was something to consider. So yeah, so no, thanks for bringing that up. That was good stuff. Anyone else?
I had a great week this week. I mean, it's just the year has just been great. I have to just say, from just changing up what my process was and just following. I told Antoine at the beginning of the year, I'm just taking your trades and Microsoft. And like this week, I cleared like almost 4 bands and I probably was in like 4 trades. So like just making sure I'm, sticking to that process. It's been super successful for me. We had great plays. Meta was a great trade. I know just trying to, oh my goodness. Y'all, excuse
Yeah, so look, so even through
sorry,
all of
y'all.
that, you
Y'all
know,
know y'all know look, I'm through all of this. I be having these little people moving around, but this is this is important to me all the time. But yeah, making sure I stick to watching my stock, like seeing when it hits certain levels, like, okay, yeah, I believe it's gonna go here, documenting, making sure that I'm consistently doing these things and keeping myself on point. So yeah, that's it for me. Great week as usual.
yeah, no, that was good. And KK, yeah, you did have a great week, and it was I forgot what it was, but it was just a it was a it's always a few things, but just the way you've been playing Microsoft and you just been catching it and you haven't given up on it. And I mean, and I expect you to give up on it, but I'm saying like how you've taken it on as your stock and you've been really playing it, like even at times where I wasn't paying attention to it, you just been in there making a lot of money off of it. I mean, you can start throwing a few tips in the chat so we know, but I know how it be at the end of the day. You just on some sniper stuff and you just taking a chance and you still getting comfortable doing that. You know what I mean? Building up the reps on
Right.
it. So yeah, I get it. But yeah, so but it's you've been catching it at the right times because again, like people don't understand how important catching a stock at the right time is because it does because look, trading is 90% psychological regardless. It sounds like a cliche to say, but it's really not because if you're in a trade, like for example, Meta coming down like the way it came down on Friday, and for us to still like at the end of the day still was able um to decide. Like I was telling the team, I had two different levels on charts, right? And this was my original level. I'm like, even if it come down a little bit more, $2, that's still where it's supposed to bounce at right here. I'm still betting on it to bounce there. If it don't, we'll cut the trade. You know what I mean? But you buy low and sell high. But once it took this out here, we knew that was flushing down. But when you see this stuff happening, it's like you thinking, okay, well, it's gonna bounce, or it's not gonna, or this is not gonna happen, or you're not ready for it. You're in denial. You gotta be ready to you gotta be able to play those levels and know and trust your levels. But you can't trust the level if you're not back testing, if you're not just sticking to the setups. Like give you an example. We had a trade last week. We had a very successful Dell trade. So typically what happens after a really successful trade like that, and I call out the same stock again, the people who did not get in the trade or didn't take full um advantage of the move on it, they will go harder on the follow-up trade. So I made sure I dropped as so many parameters on that trade as possible so everybody knew the levels. I saw Juice in there even reciting the levels that were breaking. We were watching QQQ in conjunction. And just to make sure that everybody was okay, because remember the first Dell trade, the call, and I'm telling y'all this for a reason. It kind of ties into the story, but the first trade that we had, the one that went up to like $1,100. Um, 1 second, I'm just trying to bring up the full chart here for it. The original trade. I should have just posted the original chart, but yeah, we had we played this trade. We were waiting for price to clear. I wanted price over because I wanted the price to clear this. I think it was 145. I had over 145. And then the first target we were looking for was 147, and the second target I had it at 155, but the real 155.80, but the real target was 150, 156, right? And what ended up happening that morning, it gapped up and it was already in the money. We're like, we were like $10 in the money. I think we had the 150s. So yeah, we didn't then ended up going all the way up to 161. So we were over $10 in the money. Yeah, it went $11 it went up $11 in money. So there was some members were asking like what should we do with Dell? Like, no, I saw a question in the chat, like, where is Dell going? And this was on I think it was Monday. And yeah, whatever day it was, someone had asked, where is Dell going? So I recorded a voice message from my bed. And I'm like, look, Dell, you got to take profit on Dell now. It already hit our target. It's up $11. It's $11. I'm sorry, $11 in the money. And it was just up several dollars. It was $12 from the previous close. I'm like, you got to take profit on Dell now. An hour later, not even, I don't know if it was a full hour later, we had a meltdown in the whole market, and Dell came crashing down. Now, it was a few people who told me in confidence, and I won't say anything. They told me in confidence that they got clapped on that trade because they did not take that profit. And I'm like, how is that possible? You know what I mean? But it's all possible because what happens is, you up that much on a play, and you would think that I'm just going to take the profit, but you start. It's just this thing that goes on. It's like we all got that gamble gene in us. Sometimes that trade went up 433%. And I'm like, you got to take that profit. Something that only cost 200 and something dollars to get into that trade, and it went all the way up, to over 1,100 and something dollars. You got to take that. Went over to 1,200 actually. You got to take that profit, and so yeah. So, but again, like I said, the follow-up trade or whatever, because when it came all the way back down, like, we could play this as long as it holds these levels. I'm like, but if it breaks down and if QQQ was to lose the I think it was 480, then, and if I'm saying the wrong like first number, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't know if QQQ is 480 or 580, whatever, 480. But I'm like, if it lose that 80, then everything is coming down and you need to, so I kind of just put the parameters and try to just be better at putting that information in the chat. So that way, even if I'm not around, that everybody knows exactly what needs to be done with those trades. Right. And, so that's something that I feel like if the team, I want the team to be more involved in, and asking questions when they don't understand something, like as far as a trade goes, because again, imagine how much more successful everyone could be. Or sometimes you may miss something in the chat because for whatever reason, but if, like I always tell y'all, the Discord has a beautiful search, a powerful search feature. If you just search for from me and the search bar, if the chat did have a lot of text in there or something like that, if you search from me, it'll pull up everything in there. So let's say I posted a chart and another channel, or I posted an alert in another channel, or I posted some information about a trade. All of that stuff is going to come up at one time if you do a search by my name. But this is something, I ain't gonna go too deep in this because I got a video on this in the how-to guide. But so this is so because some people will miss out on things like, I didn't see the chat, I didn't see when you wrote that, and there isn't enough people typing in the chat for us to to overlook certain things. But sometimes it does happen anyway. We just get in and we don't look back, and it's human nature. So that's why I'm telling you that you could just use that search feature to search and see if I posted something, if there was possibly any update, or if you're looking for information on a specific stock, you can just type the ticker with the cash tag, and any information that was typed about that from whoever typed it, it will show up. So got to start utilizing the Discord to its fullest potential, because again, that's where it'll help with your confidence, because like I said, if it's 90% psychological, then you have to be there are things that's going to help build that confidence up, and that's going to create it's going to strengthen your psyche, and it's going to make your trades and the length of time you can hold the trades and knowing when to cut trades, it's going to make it better. Because like I said, I can tell you something all day long, but if you can't see it, you're not likely to make that move because you can't see it. And I saw something earlier that kind of stood out to me. It said you cannot be humble if you do not know your power. You know what I mean? That's fear. So they say only a person who know how powerful they are can be humble. You know what I mean? So think about it and that regard too. Like it's just like, so maybe if I'm fear, if it's sometimes you're doing things for different reasons, and but you know your strengths. Everybody got a few strengths, and you know your weaknesses too. Like I was just telling y'all, one of mine is sometimes staying focused. So I'm trying to work around that to make sure I'm gonna speak about it and work around that to make sure that I can stay focused. But and it's gonna help with your trades. It's gonna help with your trades. But you just want to focus on the things that you can, but and ask some questions if you need to. Like I said, you ask the right questions, it's going to definitely get me to go down a rabbit hole. I may even end up on Zoom because it's too much to type. You know, it happens a lot because this is what I really love to do. So I really love seeing everybody win. I like, what we got going on here, and let's just keep up the good work. And yeah, just wanted to kind of do that. I know we kind of got a little off topic, but it's all relative because again, like I said, 90% psychological, and that's what's going to keep you going. And yeah, too. So yeah, one sec. And let me switch back over. I mean, unless someone else had something they wanted to share. Cool. All right. So, all right, what we got coming up now? So this week we got Powell speaking on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. He's doing that round table thing that he does sometimes where he speak with he's at a round table. Sarah actually is going to be conducting it. So I know Sarah is going to sneak some questions in there that we really, really need to know the answers to. So this is going to be good. I know if Sarah is hosting it and she's going to be the moderator, it's going to be some really great questions that's going to come out. It's going to be that panel with him and the ECB president and um what's up, J Rock?
No, if you showing the economic data, we can't see. It's still on the chart.
Okay, all right, cool. Thanks. I thought I switched the screen. My bad. I thought I did. Thank you. So yeah. So that's what we got on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. And so we got Williams speaking Wednesday at 7 a.m. And we get those. So look, remember Wednesday is it's almost like a semi Friday because the market is closed on Thursday for Independence Day. But check this out. Friday is going to be a disaster. So like consider me off Friday. That's why I'm just going to say it now. I don't really want to trade Friday. Most smart money that move the market most likely. No, but I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna give this. There's two parts to this. This is how I would typically do. I would look at this as if any holiday comes on a Thursday and we're off that next. And the market is open that Friday. That's how I would typically look at it. This one is slightly different. I'm gonna tell y'all why. So, but heading into that Thursday, before I get to Friday, heading into that Thursday, because again, it's a semi Friday because we're off Thursday. We got those Fed minutes, those FOMC minutes from the last Fed meeting. So yeah, we got the dot plot and all that stuff during the live actual decision, but it's going to be a lot of stuff in these minutes. I've never seen the minutes not move the market. So they always move the market because we don't know the FOMC. Is a 2-day meeting. That's like it's 8 hours the first day, and then the second day it's up until it's from 8 to 2, and then we get the Fed decision. He literally walks out and give us the Fed decision, right? And this one came on the same day as CPI, remember? And so what we'll know is we'll see, this is the meeting minutes. So everything that they had in there that they were talking about in detail, we'll get all of that information, and it always creates volatility in the market. So we need to focus on that. And that's going to happen at 2 p.m. And again, this is like so a lot of people, I don't know, we're going to see what happens on Wednesday. But what I was saying about Friday, so let's go back to it. Because like I said, typically Friday would be a slow day, like with everybody on vacation, stuff like that. The only difference with this one is we got non-farm payrolls that come out on Friday morning pre-market. So I don't know if they're gonna front run this and because I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to see how the week plays out. but that's the only thing. We got that big jobs data, that big jobs report that comes out Friday pre-market. So that can cause some volatility and possibly do something. So, we'll decide on Thursday, on Wednesday, what to do if we're gonna try to if we may swing into that. I'm not sure. We'll discuss. We'll see how the cards start to play out. You know me, I like to see which story the chart is telling heading into it. Now we do have another economic event. It's an economic event because it's an economic event. And we're gonna play this together as a team, but I'm talking about it now. So on Tuesday morning, we get Tesla delivery numbers. The Tesla delivery data come out Tuesday morning. So just be ready on so Monday night, before the close, we'll definitely be figuring out something to possibly trade that into the next day. So that's what I'm looking for. And I just wanted to make sure that it's on everybody's radar, so to kind of be looking out for it, because we will be depending on what the chart is telling, what story the chart is telling, like they pricing in a nice $11-12 move for Tesla this particular week thus far. So we'll see what happens. But that delivery data, depending on how the chart is set up heading into it, and I'll go to the Tesla chart shortly. That will determine what happens. But yeah, I think it could possibly be set up for a pullback. But again, we'll have to go, because pretty much because remember, Tesla had broke through. We didn't close over it, but we did break through that 200 EMA on the daily, and I believe we closed over it too. So we finished above it. And remember, it was so long. It took a while for Tesla to get back up there and reclaim that. We've been submerged and below it for a while. So the fact that we got back over it and we closed over it, I was telling y'all before, there was no road to 200 without Tesla clearing that 200 EMA. And we got a candle confirmation the first day, and then it finished over time. It closed over it, and then we bounced off of it on Friday. So I'm gonna show y'all the chart. So there's two things that can happen. Now, if we could easily test 225, 230, if that data comes in good, you know what I mean? Yeah, it could be a really big move on this thing. It could be a really big move if they was to come in and give us a really good number. Then we will see what happens. But if it's bad, again, it can easily come back down. But what we will do, we're gonna price this, and we're gonna set it up accordingly. I got a good plan for this one. I got a really good plan for it, and I need the team to be locked in and ready with me. We'll talk more about it on Zoom this week, and so yeah, we'll talk more about it, and I'll make sure that I got everybody in position for this play. Now, again, it really doesn't matter, but I would like if it only really matters if it comes in better than expected. That's what I'm saying. Like for if it's gonna run, that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, but if they have a really big miss, then it can be really crazy. But the June one is typically a good one. I just need to see yeah. But again, it's all based on data. It's all based on data. And I really, even if it was a bad one, I don't really think that they would possibly let Tesla drop below 190 again. They should not. Why would, if they did, then yeah, 190, 18, that around that 188 point whatever area down here somewhere. But we'll see, because again, they're what they're forecasting. A lot of them, a lot of the analysts, they are forecasting for the data to be lower, and for the Tesla delivery numbers. That's what a lot of analysts are forecasting, but we'll see. And they've already re-rated it down. So we'll see if 11% year-over-year decline is what some are. And it's just like they're looking for 410K down from the 533K forecast. And so it's a lot that can go on for this. So let's just we got to see. Hopefully we get a big move either way. But again, I'll be setting the team up for it. So that's one of the trades that we'll be one of the first trades of July that we'll be looking to take for this one. And yeah. So just remember that that's where my head is right now. And that's what I'm focused on. And again, although it's not until Tuesday morning pre-market, I like playing ranges on stuff. So, I'll be looking to set those ranges up. And again, it all we'll have a nice talk about it. Again, I may end up hopping on tomorrow before the close to kind of set things up, but I'll definitely let y'all know. Either way, it'll be a lot of data in the chat about it, and we will be locking in on this. Let me show y'all this weekly chart on Tesla for a second, because it's a lot that can actually happen with this. If we're starting to, we got this candle confirmation. Remember this breakout here. We got the candle confirmation here, and so it's on the move. It's definitely on the move. These delivery numbers is the catalyst that we need that could actually push it, but that could easily bring us back down to retest the breakout area too. So, we're going to see what happens, and we're going to be ready for it. Again, that's what my focus is, one of my biggest focus for this week. So we got a potential for a really big move for Tesla. Yeah. So let me go to Palo Alto. Palo Alto. Man, this was a really great trade last week. I didn't post many charts last week, but this was one of the ones that I did post. Now, Palo Alto, look at this chart, man. Really, really great chart. It played out to perfection. It not only did it blast through my target, it went all the way up to 340, another $10 beyond the target. And so yeah, what I think this thing it got 350 could be in play on this. Look at this weekly chart. So I'm thinking Palo Alto goes to 350. We went all the way up to 345 on Friday. I love how it closed. So let's get back over 340 and stabilize over 340. And I'm looking for a move to 350, that 351. But if you just plan it as a regular trade over 345.90, then we can go ahead and then we make a move to 351. And then we can go from there. Remember, we're still in this. There was a huge gap, earnings gap that's being filled right now, and we're almost halfway through it. So, yeah, Palo Alto is on the move, and we definitely need to keep this one on watch. I see 350 is in play on this. If we can stabilize over that area. And now the weekly is telling us a totally, not a totally different story, but it's like it's adding value to the story. It's more confluence on that weekly. And this is how the monthly finished too, man. That monthly, that's a beautiful monthly chart. Like if there was no level, man, the way this came up and just and completed that move right here at this level. I just love the way that candle set up on that monthly and how we close. So yeah, looking really, really good for Palo Alto. So let's keep that one on watch. Now, again, everything ain't always peaches and cream. Sometimes things get a little active, a little hectic. So under 337.37, we can possibly make a move back down and retest 335.58 and then possibly 330. So, let's just see what happens. We got some data coming out. Like I said, we got Fed, and a lot of these economic events can be opportunities for us to get a better price for the bigger move sometimes too. So it's something to keep in mind when some of these things happen. Now, let me go over because we got CVNA. Spell this one. CVNA. Cool. So yeah, CVNA, man, that's another interesting chart. Another interesting chart here. This thing kind of ran silently, man. I gotta keep it on. Gotta keep it on my radar to make sure that this doesn't get away from us again. Now, this was a really nice move. I like the way it closed. Now I gotta zoom out a little bit just so you can see what I got going on here. Now, if I went to, hold on, let me go out a little bit over here to this monthly chart on the CBNA, because we like this monthly chart, man, the way price came up here and we just made that reversal after we came, it was just a full reversal up on this. And we got the non-EMA about to cross the 50 over there. Not that it's really that big of a deal, but just looking at how this chart is setting up, man, look like CBNA wants to make a nice move back to 140 and then possibly higher than that. So what I'm looking for, hold on, I want to see the gaps over here too. I gotta go search a chart, man. It was just like a lot going on these charts at times. And I think it filled that one already. It's like, oh yeah, that one got filled. And yeah, but like I was saying, I think that the price was possibly making a move. Where are we now on the chart? Where did price go? I'll get back over there. That's cool. Let's get some levels. And we will see where price goes. We'll head into it a little bit. But yeah, so CVNA, man, just I wanted to go ahead and mark this chart up a little bit. I'm back over here. A lot of it's bare up the top. So yeah, we hit some resistance up here, but I'm like, if we can clear that 130, I'm gonna say 137, clear 137, 140, 49 is in play, get over that, and then we can make possibly a big move up to that 148 area. So but yeah, I like the way it made this round trip. I don't know if I'm gonna have to check and see what the news was about this or if it was just running, but we got a nice move up on this one. Let me see where that 50 is actually. I need to know where the 50 is. To know where that is. Okay, it's all the way down there. Okay, cool. Just wanted to know where it was. And so yeah, and as far as puts on this one though, we under 124, then we can possibly retest that 9 EMA at 121.83. And then we could possibly, I think it's gonna bounce there. That's where it's been bouncing at. So I'm gonna save that as a level because I mean, obviously, then we got another area. We can come back down here to 117.90, 17, what is that? 117 up in this area here. If we were to lose that area. So we keep this on watch. There's a lot of flow going into it. And when you look at the chart, you can see that it's been bull flag after bull flag on the weekly. Interesting, ever since earnings, and it's just been moving up and it's just been slowly climbing back up. So let's just see what actually happens because there's a lot of levels that this stock has on it. And I think we possibly continue to move higher if as long as let's see how this next candle starts and see what happens with it. But yeah, let's keep this one on watch too. CBNA. Let me go. I'm gonna hit Meta. I know I talked about it, but I'm gonna hit the stock. Meta. Here's let me see how this monthly finished really quickly on Meta. Very interesting monthly chart. We got that move up and that reversal. Let's see the weekly again. So we got this inverse hammer on the weekly. We finished with finished green volume wise on the weekly. Inverse hammer came back down here. Hold on a second. So we still found a way to finish green and finished higher than the last week. And although we had an inverse hammer on it, like I said, I'm just looking for, let's see what we do on the second. I got so many levels that some of these levels translate. They should not be on my weekly chart. I just got them on here because I didn't separate them. But as you can see here, we got a clear indication on what's going on here, over here. So like I said, I'm looking for Meta to make a bounce here, right? If we lose this level here, then we know we're gonna make a move down If we lose this level here on Meta, then I'm looking for a move down to 493. So we will play that accordingly. Now again, so for Meta, my trigger for puts would be under, and I'm actually going to give Meta some margin, unless you want to play it. Like if you wanted to play puts on Meta and Meta was to lose, go lower than 503, then you can play it down to 500 maybe. I mean, play it down to something like that. But what I'm setting my real put trigger for Meta under, we got 502, but 500 is a sentimental level. And I've seen it many times when Meta play around that area. When they get around 500, you got to give it margin because they will come in and buy it up at 500 too. So it's just, I got this level here, but you know, I'm really watching the 500. So we're going to have to really have some margin right there around 500 if we get a move, if the you know, if the market doesn't bounce tomorrow and we actually get a continuation to the downside, we really got to pay attention to it around 500 because and that's cool to give it that margin because 493 is a nice move down from 500. So, you know, I think that's what we should be focused on as far as puts go for Meta, if that's the case, right? So again, but I think Meta wants to take if Meta bounces off of here, then we're going to make a nice move back up and we're going to go through that 520. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for in this. Either it's going to come down or it's going up. Now we did get a flush, like I said, at the end of the week. I mean, ended up the day on this, but we came back down to this area and looked like it's likely to bounce here. And I didn't want to let me show y'all on the session too. We talked about this a little earlier, but just to kind of give y'all a little bit more color at what's going on here. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a scary looking situation, right? But like I said, if we get a bounce, then that thing should bounce hard and we should get that move. I think they flushed it down enough. You saw all of that flow that came in there on Friday. It didn't really translate to the week like that, but I thought that we had a pretty good amount of flow that came in there. But if, remember, I told y'all also, because we actually went in and looked at I was actually watching the tape, reading the tape, right? And the biggest order for Meta that came in was for 500 calls, but they were for August. So and it was like for 28K. It was 28K worth of them. So that order was worth 1.2 million or something dollars. I think they're gonna save it at 500. I don't think they're gonna let it drop below 500. So they're going to need somebody to blast through that order in order for that to happen, right? So, and I just don't, I think they're going to save it at 500 if it was to come down. So, yeah, so let's just keep that on watch and yeah. But again, I told y'all what's going to happen. Well, we will be watching forward to the downside, and if that was to happen. So yeah, there's Meta. Now I said I was going to hit this, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit it real quick. I'm gonna go to QQQ first, actually, QQQ. Because QQQ got crazy on Friday.
Hey, I was gonna say Friday I had noticed that a lot of stocks had held their 9 EMA on the daily too and came back up. So
yeah, QQQ is one of them stocks. Well,
yeah.
ETF. QQQ ETF. So yeah, but yeah, and then also that's a nice level here too. That's what we was looking for that too. That was so remember on Friday, that was one of the things that I had QQQ on my other screen because that was one of the things that I was watching for to see if it was gonna drop below that level, below that area, or if it was gonna stabilize. And if you can see here, like we also came and we bounced off that area. So I mean, I'm thinking we could get a bounce, but again, we got a lot of positions closing. We had sector rotation and not sector rotation, rebalancing of a lot of ETFs and stuff like that took place. So yeah, I think we get a bounce here. That's what I'm looking for. But what I'll say is under 478.50, then we can see that we'll probably get back down to 474.74. That would be the next level that I would be looking forward to the downside on QQQ. Now, again, now you see where the all-time high is on QQQ. Now, Tesla and Tesla and a few other stocks could very well help us blast through that again. I mean, it's been doing that over and over again. So it's kind of hard to really say. And if you look here, we got an outside week. So we had that 223, and it managed to finish green. So we got an outside week. So, price can go either way, but I like outside weeks because we got a volatility expansion. Let's just see exactly what happens and go from there. I'm looking for a bounce here though. And yeah. Take a look at that QCOM chart because I was saying I was going to take a look at it. Okay, interesting. I like how it finished on the weekly. Okay. Finished right there. All right. Okay, we got a 222 reversal, came up, rejected the 9 EMA, but it held the 50. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of flow that came in there towards the end of the on Friday. Let me see how did that take place? 1 second. QCOM. Yeah, man, I'm just looking at the way this kind of did. I want to get a closer look. Okay, that's what happened. All right. So most of that came in during the morning. That surge came in during the morning. That market open after this breakout here. Okay. See, sometimes you got to zoom out and take a closer look at what's going on. And again, ignore that 50 on this session hourly because I don't utilize it on those lower time frames. But we did get this wedge break right here on the session hourly, and then price kind of surged in the morning. Now it's consolidating, so possibly consolidate for a move higher. Look like a bullish flag that's setting up right here, and so we could possibly get a nice move on QCOM. So what I'm looking for, and I like that how it finished on the weekly too. Let me just because the month just finished, I want to just take a look at it. That's the only reason. Okay, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. I can deal with that because it's still holding that breakout area. All right, cool. Go back to the week on here. And so, yeah, and I see, okay, I see what QCOM is up to, man. See what it's trying to do. We got a gap here. We got a smaller gap that it tried to fill that it shut down on here. And so let's just look at it a different way from here. Let's go sit this up here. Place you here. And here. So yeah, man. So QCOM, man, what I'm looking at, this could be an interesting trade. But like I said, now that we got so we got a 222 reversal, we got rejected over that 9 EMA. So this could be played up to that. I'm not really looking at it that way. I'm looking for it to break through that 9 EMA. So let's break through the 9 EMA first. So let's get over 204. Oh, let's just say let's get over 204.08, right? We get over 204.08, then our targets. Well, if we get over 204, yeah, so 204, first target would be 206.82 and then 211.68. So that could be a nice move. And I think we could possibly get another continuation higher because if you zoom out again, just look at what actually happened here. I just need to break through here. That was a lot of volume that came through there. So somebody wants something to happen on this. And like I told y'all, they were shorting a lot of the chip stocks, and for QCOM to break out like that on Friday, yeah, let's just see what actually happens here. Let's just see. But yeah, over that particular level, that's what I'm looking for. Now, there is a possibility this thing could drop down lower. So let's just keep an eye on it. If we lose that 195.61, then yeah, we could actually make a move a lot lower on this than what we already have. Let me just go ahead and clear this side too, because I feel like yeah, so lose that level, then we can possibly retest that 194. And let's see if it bounced there. It bounced there before, and we'll cross the next bridge when we get there, because the next bridge can be it can be uglier. I just like when I see a stock reclaim it's 50 EMA, and it already established support over here at this area. So let's just see if it holds there, because we could actually move a lot lower if it was to lose that level. But I ain't gonna mark any levels on it, because I just feel like we probably gonna move there. I really feel like even if it was to lose this, it will probably reclaim it quickly. So I don't want to mark a level down there yet. And then somebody get, tripped up trying to play both levels instead of just playing the one. But yeah, so that's what I'd be looking for if QCOM was to break down. See what was up with SPY. Oh, we got the bearish engulfing on the daily for SPY. Okay, so weekly still, is that green or red? That looks like it's red. Let's find out. Yeah, that was red. Okay, at the kind of real dojiest inverse hammer dojiest 2 weeks in a row, we got that type of pattern. But yeah, here we go. So although we got the bearish engulfing on the daily, we got the 223. So we outside on here, but we got a bearish engulfing. It reclaimed this 9 EMA, bounced off this level here. So let's see exactly what happens, because if we lose that 542.95, then we can come back down here and retest this 540 area down here. So and then that can get even uglier if we actually start to fill the gap below there. So it's probably likely bounce off of it, but let's just keep an eye on what happened. And again, with SPY also, it's in one of those situations where we at all-time highs again. So if we were to bounce off here, you can play that back up. Just simple. I'm not going to give a trigger for calls. I'm looking for a bounce and continuation to the upside. That's how that would just have to be played with SPY, if that makes sense. So I feel like if SPY can reclaim, and then I'm going to show y'all something else really quickly. Just so you can see the price action a little better, what was actually going on with this chart. And again, like I said, excuse the other EMAs on here, because that's not what we're using. So we did get a reject, but again, this looks just like the meta chart and a few others that coming up here rejecting, and we got that flush at the end. But yeah, sometimes you gotta really wait and see how it actually sets up. You don't have a clear story on what can happen. But I'm saying if we bounce here, you can play calls off that bounce, so that's what I'll be looking for SPY. Nvidia, another outside candle with a 222 reversal. The inverse hammer rejected its 9 EMA, and it's starting to this chart is starting to look a little interesting to me. I mean, but I see a few things. I wasn't even trying to look at the session hourly yet, but I got it up here. Just looking at this, like it has some support here, but at the same time, so it's gonna be a little bullish flaggish if you're looking at it from that perspective. But like I said, I'm gonna talk about this side a little bit more, but I'm gonna go to the week. I just wanted to see that. Interesting week. Okay, so we got a 222 reversal, finished green, but it's almost like doji-ish. It's like a doji candle, where bulls and bears are agreeing at the same price on this, and it kind of like lines up with what we're seeing here with a lot of consolidation. But yeah, this is another one of them stocks, man, where I just have to wait and see exactly what happened. If we can clear that, because we never really solidified that gap fill up there. So if we can clear that 127.70, then maybe we can make a move back up into 129.30, and then back up to 130. So that would be the move to the upside. If we lose that 122.75, then we still got that 121. So actually, you know what, I'm gonna say this. This is what I'm gonna say. If we lose 121.82, then we got action, because then that'll take us all the way back down to 117. And remember, all of these levels that I had on NVIDIA hit last week. So let's watch this one carefully. And that 117, man, that better hold. You know what I'm saying? So so far so good, but that better hold. And but yeah, this could be a good trade setup for next week. And again, we got some events coming up that could possibly cause this to, to give us some volatility either way. And again, a lot of the chip stocks had bearish flow coming in them, so we just gotta really just keep an eye on it, and and just be focused and try to be careful. Again, I don't want people just jumping in these plays just because we talked about them or just because a level got taken out. You want to really see what story the chart is telling and what the probability of this move actually taking place is, because again, sometimes a level get broken on the chart, right? But it'll get bought right back up there. You got to just really wait for the confirmation on a lot of these trades. And yeah, it was another one that I wrote down. ServiceNow. Sheesh, that weekly chart is crazy. Wow. 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 Damn. All right, cool. So I need to add this back to my radar. Okay, so this wedge, I haven't had this chart up um in a while, but now I can see this though. That's the first thing I saw. So we got that breakout, because look, every single time we've hit this area, we've rejected it, and we got a candle confirmation, a retest, and it's taking off. Wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chart, man. I love everything about this chart. I like everything that I'm seeing about this chart, man. Let me see what that weekly look like really quickly. Damn, where have I been? And here's a bullish flag breakout here on the weekly. Now, it just makes this look a lot better, because I'm sure if I zoom out on the daily, you'll see the same thing. But everything just kind of like a lot clearer, smoother to see when you look here, because you got that whole, got that breakout. So we got time frame continuity. I bet this look beautiful in the monthly too. Now look at that, man. 222 reversal on a monthly. And yeah, it's looking great, man. This looks really good. Like, what happened now? ServiceNow, y'all know that's like a ticketing software that a lot of technology companies use to track their client issues and stuff like that. Really good software, really good software. So we got that 9 EMA crossing over to 50 here. Yeah, no, we gotta keep this a watch, man. ServiceNow, man. This chart, man. The fact, and we're not late to the party. Now I like to catch stuff heading up, because we already knew where the level would have been here, but we broke through it. We got the candle confirmation and we got the retest, man. This thing wants to go higher. So, and so this could possibly be a really, really nice move heading into this week. Now, let's just we're gonna have to wait and see how things play out on this. But I really, just looking at this chart alone, it looked like it wants 800. So it looked like it wants 800. And I ain't gonna say anything further than 800, 850, 820. I'm just looking at it, man. It just looks like this thing, it has the potential to give us a nice move, and I want to be a part of it. Where did it close on Friday? It closed at 786. Yeah. Uh-huh. I really think this can really make a nice move this week. And I need to be a part of it. I need to be a part of it. So ServiceNow is on my radar. It's like heavily on my radar right now, and we're gonna have to make something happen with ServiceNow. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check and see what the news was on it, but I definitely want to yeah, we need to keep this one on watch. Keep it on watch. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Crazy breakout. Crowd. So, Palo Alto had the whole sector moving. So we got crowd. Crowd made a nice move also. Crazy gap up last week. Well, 2 weeks ago, the gap up, and it held the gap up. And remember, this was all after earnings, and we got a continuation. And so it's been holding this area. We talked about this last week too. And it's just holding this area. It held the gap up pretty well, and now it's reestablished itself over. Well, still establishing itself over its 9-day EMA. And so yeah, I like where price is right here on Service Now. Are we at all-time highs on this? I believe, yeah, crowd. I said Service Now, I'm talking about crowd now, by the way. Let me just zoom out for a second. Yeah, we had all-time high still, but you know, this we got an election coming up and we're getting closer to the election. We're gonna need more cybersecurity. We need, and I think that it's the need and the demand is going to be much higher heading into this election cycle. So we need to keep this one on watch. Again, I like how price has held up and how it's been moving. Now, but if we were to lose this area here, I'm just going to call it 380, 44, then we can actually make a move back down to this area here. I don't think that happens, but you know, we could actually to 366 or 370, one of those areas we could possibly break down to. But I like the way price has been consolidating here. It's bull flag and look like it wants to go higher. So we just need to keep this one on watch again. It's if we can take out that 394.64, then 400 will be in play, and that'll be another high for the stock. So again, let's just keep it on watch. It's been moving and just wait for a breakout on it. Now, one sec. So Nike, sheesh. So I posted this chart on Friday after the close just to add some perspective to what's actually happening with Nike. Everybody's on a bandwagon of beating Nike down. And, you know, I'm not a bandwagon guy. You know, like I said, we've been planning this move for a while. But, you know, bandwagon, the stuff about a bandwagon in the stock market is a lot of people, they follow when someone's fearful or talking bad about stuff, a lot of times a big company, people follow along with it. And Nike, they got on the earnings call and they affirmed that things were not going as great as they thought, and that we would likely see slower growth and the rest of this year for the second half of 2024, and they guided down for FY 2025 as well, at least for the first half. So look, this is the thing. This is the significance of this chart. As you can see, this uptrend, Nike has been in an uptrend forever. We've had times where it came down and it bounced, right? This is a monthly chart. This was the COVID drop right here in March of 2020. This was the low. Now we broke that uptrend, but we had a hard bounce. We had a hard bounce, and then everything has been running. But that was the whole market with that, right? We came back down here and retested it again, you know, after a too bad cycle for Nike. And then we came down and retested this area again. This time we broke it on a monthly and we got a candle confirmation. So it's the first time we ever in history had a candle confirmation and with a bloody candle like this on the Nike monthly chart. And then we closed under my next level under there. We closed under that 170 that 176.82 level that it's been stabilizing over, because every time it dropped, it found a way to get back up there over the last few years, right? And yeah, so 72 is in play. Now we on Zoom on on Thursday after the print, we talked about this and we actually talked about it before the print. I was like, I didn't type it in the chat, but on Zoom, we talked about it. And this was right after the earnings print came out. I'm like, you know, Nike could actually go as low as 60, you know, but you know, we was going to focus on the levels at hand, and we knew that, and we talked about 70 being in play too. And so that's why on Thursday after the close, when they did report, I was looking forward to Nike just losing 82, so that way we can open at 77 or gap down to around there. We gapped down and we opened at 77 and we made a move down. So we still dropping. I'm gonna go to a lower time frame on this, go to the weekly first, and then we could see the weekly. It's just cool. This is an ugly chart. Just that's all I can say. But we don't have. I want to go to a daily so I can show y'all something else. But this is what we look like. This is what it looked like. And this is why I was on a monthly, so you can get a better picture at what's going on, because it's a lot that can possibly happen that has already started to happen. And in the after hours, after the close, it started to go back down to below 75 again. So, you know, Nike is just it's in a bad cycle right now. And so looking for if it was to lose this 70, now we got 74.82, we lose that. 72 was in play. And so, yeah, but I'm gonna show y'all another thing. The reason I pulled this weekly chart up is because after a few bad earnings cycles on Nike, what typically happens is this is a pattern. Like, all right, so we get a bad week, and then the price kind of just like drops for the next few weeks. You get some moves, but you get the drops on it. Here's another one. We normally get like a 222 continuation on them every time we get one of those big drops like that. So, and this one is a big one though, and it's a bearish engulfing on the weekly too. So we got a bearish engulfing candle, and yeah, this is really ugly cycle. So it could consolidate this week and then break down. But I'm trying to show y'all some. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. So you can see a lot of times these were earning cycles. So this was one, and then the second week it tried to stabilize, but it's still, look where the price is though. It's under this 9 EMA, under this 50 right here, where let's just use the 50. And then so it kind of chilled here and then died the next week too. So, and then here's the last cycle, went up here, and then it played around this week, and then it flushed down even lower. So we get those continuations after the earnings cycle. I don't know what happened here, but this was before an earnings cycle. Maybe this was just some an event for the whole market. I'm not sure. I have to look and see what it was that caused that, but it wasn't earnings. And here's another earnings cycle for Nike. This was the week of earnings, went up here, rejected this, and then flushed the final week. I mean, it's the following week. Here's another one. But this is earnings right here. This is where I don't know what happened. This was a beat, though. It looked like they beat on earnings on this one. It finished this week. And then the next week, it kind of started building back up. But, this is after a cycle where it already died. And, this was a pivot that was made off of this, as you can see here. If I show you this parallel trend line, as you can see, it was like a pivot off of this breakdown here. Reversal here, and we got so it broke the downtrend for a little while, heading up here on the weekly. But yeah, the Nike chart is catastrophic, man. It is catastrophic, and the story, the sentiment has got a lot of downgrades. So a few of us on Zoom, I know led by KK, we kind of got into some. I know Drew in there too. We swung some Nike puts. We sold our original position, obviously, but we ended up swinging Nike puts because we believe in that we're gonna get it. So like even if it doesn't happen like this week that's coming up, we wait and then we're gonna play it. We're gonna play with Nike and go with it accordingly. So yeah, that's the plan with Nike. And I'm gonna hit this one. Now I got a few other charts. I'm gonna hit them probably. I'm gonna probably just post them, but I had to hit this Airbnb chart. It's the last chart that I'm gonna hit on this call. I'll hit the others. If y'all got any suggestions of some stocks that you want hit, you can type them in the chat in the Discord, and I will chart them. But I wanted to show this Airbnb chart because I like this Airbnb chart. I like how we got this is a weekly chart, by the way. We reclaimed this area because remember we've been dancing up here for a while. We broke through, came up here, played up here for a while, flushed back down, and been trying to get back up here. Couldn't get up here, knocking at the door. We broke through there again, and now we got back up here, right? And now we've reestablished ourselves up here. It looked like it wants that 157 area and then possibly go up to 160. But I'm gonna show y'all the daily chart. Airbnb. So I like 155s. That's what I'm looking at 155s though. I'm just saying, but yeah, I said the daily chart. So there's a gap. See, this is what happened with earnings right here. So look, this was the earnings gap, let me come on. So yeah, we getting back up in there. We already started feeling part of it. And so we in there now. We in there now. And so just like on the short term on this particular chart right here, over 153, then I'm looking at 154.43, and then 157.30, and so on. But like that's just I like this. We got the 9 EMA about to cross back over the 50. and price has reclaimed the 50 already, and we had a surge in volume coming in. This is a really, really nice chart, and I really, really like the setup on it. Now, if we were to lose that 150.68, then I'm gonna say this. Let's say if we lose 149.86, let's lose 149.86, then we can play that down to 146.46, and possibly so on. But it looked like price has stabilized, and it looked like it's trying to make a move to the upside. I like those 155s, like I was saying, because I feel like if it breaks above if it breaks above that 153, then those 155s can likely go in the money. So I'm looking for something that can go in the money and that could possibly make a move. But we'll keep this one on watch also. I know I said that was the last chart I was going to hit, but I got to hit IWM first. I have to. Beautiful, beautiful flag on the daily here. And IWM. There we go. It worked for me. This thing never works out for me. Always give me a hard way to go. It's working. Yeah, so I like this IWM chart. I like it a lot. I don't like this though. Hold up. Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. But so yeah, we got price stabilizing over the 50 and the non-EMA again. So let's after all of that selling pressure that came out of this, we got the gap up, but it finished like that. We got a green oscillator bar, and we got the MACD line crossing over the signal line. Although we got a lot of bad bearish flow coming in there, I think they came in and they saved it, and they came in and bought that up. So small caps, there's a lot of stocks that I mentioned that are still small cap stocks that could potentially cause this market to move. Now, again, it's a few things that could actually happen because like I know we looking at this how this bounced or whatever, but price, it every time it came up here, it gets rejected up here, right? And this is the same thing that happened here. This candle, it gapped up here, but it finished back down below this wedge. So this trend. So are we going to get a drop down, or are we going to get a move up to back over 205? Like what are we doing here? So we got to figure out what's going on. So what I'm saying is, so now we just got to play it accordingly. If price loses 201, then we can possibly make a move back down to 299, 299.29, and so on, probably to the bottom of this wedge. But we will see, because again, it's been some consolidation clusters that have been taking place. But then when you zoom out and see the whole structure, I'm like, are we gonna? This means something. The fact that price did find a way to move back up. But yeah, I'm just looking at the trend. Every time it's come up here, it's gotten rejected and came back down. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly tells a different story. The weekly tells a different story. So look at this. We got a trend on the weekly. So this is why we zoom out sometimes. So look, we got a 222 reversal on the weekly chart. And so look, so now this is where we go about putting these pieces together. Now I'm telling you, I'm being honest, I'm being straight up. I did not look at this chart, but I knew I needed to hit it, right? So I didn't look at this chart. I didn't look at this weekly or nothing until just now, but this is how I look at my charts. So I found the story on the daily, but it was kind of mixed, right? Because yeah, I see a bullish flag now. Now I didn't zoom out, but I'm zoomed out now. We got this bullish flag with a trend going on inside of here. But you see, this is the same trend right here that's on the weekly. But on the daily, if it's all the way out like this, you don't really see that. You're just seeing this right here, right? So that's why we always zoom out to get a closer look, because a part of me was like, well, we bounced off the 9 EMA and the 50 and we reclaimed this level, and it's looking like this bullish flag trying to play out on here, but we did reject this, and it has been rejecting this. This does matter. This matters because this is what's going on right now, but zooming out is important because okay, so technically, I mean, like this was at the bottom, like this is the bottom here. We don't have to always come down to the bottom of a trend line to for something to play out, right? And you see, so we reclaimed this area here, got a 222 reversal, and I don't see any reason why this doesn't want to go higher. But we gotta obviously we gotta let it play out. But the weekly it gives us more confluence to that other situation that I saw. Like I said, I got a mixed picture on the daily, but the weekly kind of confirms the other side, of what I saw. And here's a monthly chart. Again, monthly just started. I'm only looking at the monthly because it just closed. We don't really play the monthly charts around here because one candle represents 1 month of price action, and it could be volatile as hell and still finish green. That's why, and you would have to have a lot of time on your contracts for this monthly chart to even matter. But I like the trend on the monthly too. Everything is still looking good. So I'm saying that this could possibly play out to the upside. Let me do some surgery on that last daily candle for a second, just for kicks, just for kicks. Okay, I like this. I like what happens when I do that. We got a breakout, a bullish flag breakout with a 222 reversal. And nope, it's not is that a bullish engulfing? And a bullish engulfing candle. So, but still lines up with this. Let's see if we get a continuation. And all of this came in at the end of the day. So, somebody wanted to buy up small caps at the end of the day. So let's just see exactly what happens here. And it lines up with a level and, market structure over EMAs, market structure over a lot of things. So let's just see. But again, it's a session hourly, just looking at what's going on when you zoom out a little bit. I like this chart too. So what I will say for this one, like I was just saying before, let's keep it on watch and see if we can actually if we break out and go higher, because then we can reclaim that 205 and then possibly 208. Yeah. And again, like I said, we got economic data coming this week that could possibly push either way, help with the story that the chart is telling. But yeah, fam, that's all I have. I know we went over. Like I said, if there are any other charts or anything, I wanted to hit the ones that I was really watching and that I was really, that I'm focused on right now. And because last week I think that played in our favor, me only posting a few charts as opposed to like trying to cover every single stock and around the bend, just to be the one that's covering everything and see what plays out and what, what I mean? Like I'm gonna cover the ones that I really, and that's what we did last week. I'm trying to just concentrate my forces here, and I think the stories change. We'll move as the story change and as the market gives us new catalyst. Now, shout out to Adobe. That's another chart. We'll do that later, but and yeah, but that's all I have. Again, thank y'all for hopping on and for staying and as long as you did. And let's make this a great week, man. It's a short week and let's get ready for Tesla. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, Brody. Thank you.
Appreciate your guidance, Brody.
No problem.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank you.